All right, now we already understand the meaning of Sīla according to Pali. This means that you put your action, bodily and verbal. Now, so far you see, it doesn't talk about mental, you know. Okay, it's most of like it's only talk about bodily and verbal. Okay, but here you can say it's a mental because it's somebody with a good bodily and verbal action. That's when it expressed to others. When it's not expressed to others inside your mind, it should be as a foundation for the wholesome deeds, kusala. Now, Sīla is analyzed in four ways. So when you learn Abhidhamma, you also see these four. So this is characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. So in any of the like Cetasika, there's always had these four ways of looking at one phenomenon, phenomenon. All right. Now, proximate cause means near cause. Near cause means something will cause it to happen. Characteristic is how it appear. Function is sometimes they translate with the word essence also. Manifestation is how it shows, either to yourself or to others. Proximate cause is which one cause it to be. Okay. Now you find this in this okay, on the 20, all right? I better put the number. So this is a 20. So 20. All right, now characteristic of virtue, Sīla. Coordinating of bodily actions and verbal actions, like just now, and as the foundation of profitable states means the kusala. So this we see just now already. So you make sure your bodily action and verbal action are in the right way, not wrong way. This means that helping others instead of abusing others. All right. So coordinating it, and it acts as a foundation base for wholesome deeds. Now, so next one is different translation from Yana Moli. I put NA, and then the Bay Mountain is a path of purity. So they have different explanation of, it's the same thing, by the way they translate different. So Bay Mountain translate, the virtue possesses the essence function in the sense of function of destroying wickedness and has the essence in the sense of property of faultlessness, right? And Yanamoni translate, the function nature of stopping misconduct as its function nature in the sense of action, and the blameless function nature as it is function nature in the sense of achievement. Yanamoni, page 12, paragraph 21. So in Pali, it just say that the first one, lasa. Lasa is the function here, all right? So characteristic is one thing, and lakkhana. Normally the Pali lakkhana and function is a lasa. The first one is stopping the misconduct. So this means that if somebody has morality, has Sīla, this Sīla will stop misconduct. So this is the first one. In terms of action, so it will stop misconduct. Second thing is that its nature means blameless, faultless. Okay, faultlessness or blamelessness means no fault, as a sense, in a sense of achievement. So the function in two ways. First, stopping misconduct. Second thing is it has a blameless nature in terms of achievement. All right. So this follow the Pali. But we cannot see Sīla unless it's manifested. So it manifested as kind of purity, bodily purity, verbal purity, and now you can see mental purity, right? Bodily purity we can see is somebody they don't disturb others, they do not kill, not steal, so is considered bodily purity. Verbal purity means do not scold others, say only good words, say only soothing words. So avoid from all the fault of like harsh speech, telling lies, and so on. Mental purity. Okay. Here I think is set as manifestation, but we cannot see the mental purity. But we can manifest to ourselves. Because sometimes manifest does not mean that manifest to others, but how it appear. Sometimes the word is Pali word is Pachupatana, all right? Pachupatana means how it appear to us as a mental purity also. Now, what is the proximate cause or near reason? So it's considered as this one, conscience and shame, hili or tapa, right? So if somebody has hili or tapa, this is the near cause for Sīla. Now, conscious means sometimes we have different way of translating, all right? Sometimes hili, I think, let me check out the translation. Sometimes they use the word shame, all right? And then the otapa, they say fault. So now with the new translation is different way of hili normally is considered as shame of doing evil. And otapa will be afraid of the otapa is different. Afraid of the evil result, right? So hili, we are shameful to do evil, and then otapa is because we are afraid of the result, so we do not do it. So these two are called as a lokapala, right? So we have the name of this one, lokapala, protector, okay? Protector of the world. Because of these two still exist in the world, that's why this world is still safe. But one day when there's no more hili or tapa in the world, so the world will be in chaos because everybody just kill, steal, and sexual misconduct, telling lies, and so on. So hili or tapa is the proximate cause. So these four are quite how we study anything in Abhidhamma. Also, when you see the chitta chittasika, you will have characteristic, you will have function. Function means the action here. Manifestation is how it appears. Sometimes we can use the word appearance, how it appears in our mind. Proximate cause means the near cause or something that will cause it to happen. Okay. Okay, now the last one on benefits. Okay. Now I think we look at the text here. So first 19 will be on the Pali definition as mentioned before. 20 will be on the characteristic, function, manifestation, and so on. Okay. And so on. So the texts are come. Okay. I think on the 23 will be easier. It's talking about benefits of Sīla. Okay. So I already copy here. Maybe somebody read who is around. How about Mingxi? Can you read the English? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. 23. What are the benefits of virtue? Its benefits are the acquisition of the several special qualities, beginning with non-remorse. For this is said, Ananda, profitable habits of virtues, have non-remorse as their aim and non-remorse as their benefit. Also, it is said further, householder, there are these 5 benefits for the virtuous in the perfecting of virtue. What 5? Here, householder, one who is virtuous, possess a virtue, obtain a large fortune as a consequence of diligence. This is the first benefit of virtuous in the perfecting of virtue. Again,
Sorry, yeah.
again, of one who is virtuous, again, whenever one who is virtuous, possessed of virtue, enters an assembly, whether of Khatyas or Brahmins or householders or ascetics, he does so without fear or hesitation. This is the third benefit of the virtuous in the perfecting of virtue. Again, one who is virtuous, possessed of virtue, dies unconfused. This is the fourth benefit of the virtuous in the perfecting of virtue. Again, one who is virtuous, possessed of virtue, on the breakup of the body, after death, reappears in a happy destiny in the heavenly world.
Okay, thank you, Macy.
Welcome.
Okay, now this is the benefits of Sīla. Right? So you find on the paragraph 23. Okay, so this is one. So Sīla is somebody with Sīla, morality, virtue, have no remorse. So the mind will be peaceful. So that is why when we want to have good meditation, we should have non-remorse. If you have remorse, you would have lots of thoughts, wandering mind. So if you have good Sīla, then your wandering thoughts will less. That's why in all the meditation center you go, the yogi are required to observe 8 precepts at the very beginning before they start to meditate. So hopefully by have good Sīla, they will have non-remorse. Second thing will be, so obtain large fortune. Okay. The one will be fair. Fair means a good repetition. Right? Sometimes good repetition. And then next one is if he enter any assembly, he can do it without fear or hesitation. So this is a advantage. So what kind of assembly? Either the high caste one, like the Katiya, means like Buddha born in the Katiya race, warrior or noble, they call it noble born, or the Brahmin householder or ascetic. He can do it without hesitation, right? That one, if he has virtue, then he dies unconfused. Unconfused means that the mind has less moha, is free from strong defilements. Then, because of after breakout of the body, then he will reborn appears in a happy place, okay, in heavenly world. So this is a 5 advantage of the Sīla. Now, when we see the text here, okay. So it's put something M133, right? Then on the 24 also got some more. So I do a search based on the Pali. So I find it, oh, okay, it's in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So Mahaparinibbana Sutta is a very long sutta and it has many parts. All right. So the Buddha went to different places and preached different discourses. So he did talk about these 5 benefits. So based on what we see in the Visuddhimagga, you notice that there are many different suttas appear, right? But the Buddha Gosa, he arranged it systematically and put certain sutta when it talk about later topic, right? So this topic will be on Sīla based on the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, which is the sutta about the final passing away of the Buddha. Okay, and then 24. I think we have some time, maybe let us invite somebody to read all this. Let's see who is around. Okay. Jen from Singapore, are you around?
Yes, Xiaji.
Okay. Do you want to read this? Okay.
Okay. Dare anyone a limit place on benefits that virtue brings, without which virtue clansmen find no footing in the dispensations, no Ganges and no Yamuna, no Sarabu Sarasati, or flowing Achiravati, or noble river of Mahi, is able to wash out the stain in things that breathe here in the world. For only virtuous water can wash out the stain in living things. No breeze that come bringing rain, no balm of yellow sandalwood, no necklaces besides or gems, or
Okay.
soft effulgence of moonbeams can here avail to calm and soothe man's fever in this world, whereas this noble, supremely cold, well-guarded virtue quells the flame. Where is there to be found the scent that can with virtuous sense compare, and that is borne against the wind as easily as with it? Where can such another stairs be found that climbs as virtue does to heaven, or yet another door that gives on to the city of Nibbana? Shine as they may, they are no kings, adorned with jewelries and pearls that shine as does a man restrained. Adorned with virtuous ornament, virtue entirely does away, with dread of self-blame and the light.
Oh, sorry. So where is it? Okay.
Yeah, with
Yeah. Okay.
dread of self-blame.
Okay. Where is it?
The last one,
Yeah. Okay.
the bottom one,
Bottom one. Okay. Where?
breath and the light. They are virtuous to the virtuous. Give gladness always by its fame. From this brief sketch it may be known how virtue bring rewards, and how this root of all good quality rob of its power every fault.
Okay. So you can see the ancient teacher, they are very good in poetry. Wow, so much. So anyway, it just write some good points here. All right. So the good point, okay, all these are the Yamuna, all these are rivers, okay, rivers in the India at that time. Not sure whether they still exist or not, but Yamuna is. You can see in Tipitaka, sometimes they say about this. Now it's like we say just now we're talking about the ascetic practice. So one of the ascetic practice is go there, have a shower, have a bath in the river, because they believe by, like even now they go to Ganges River. They believe by just washing in the bathing in the Ganges River, they can wash away their stain. Right. So he's talking about no, no, this is not possible. Right. So only the virtuous water can wash the stain. Stain means mental defilements in the living beings. Okay. So second point is that if the virtue, it can kill the flame. All right. Flame means fever. What kind of fever? Fever is talking about like your mind, if your mind want this, want that, want that, want this, your mind is like burning with desire. So well guarded morality, virtue will clear the flame. Then the top point talk about sin. Like sin is called fragrant. Like only the sin of fragrant is can boil against the wind. It's because like we say one fragrant, let's say if you have the incense stick, when the wind blow, it will blow in one direction. But the sin of the virtue, it spread everywhere. So it's against the wind. So that's the meaning. So the next one is a virtue. So it can lead to heaven or to the nibbana. And somebody with virtue, if they order what I call it, decorated themselves with Sīla morality. So they are even more beautiful than all the jewelries and so on. Okay. And then those with virtue, so they have greatness, right? So actually it's a very nice poem, of course. All right. So let's see. It's difficult to scroll out and down. All right. So the poem finished. So then the final one, the Sīla is the roots of all qualities. So because just now we say Sīla, based on Sīla is a foundation for all the morality. Okay. Now, then continue. All right. So if we continue, then you talk about, let me do it a little bit. Okay. So in the Visuddhimagga, you find a lot of this kind of category. So how many Sīla? So 1 by characteristic. Then you go for 2, keeping, avoiding. Like we see, keeping something, then avoiding something. Keeping means keeping, then it will explain later what is keeping, what is avoiding. Right. That means they're keeping then 2 also, good behavior. In terms of beginning of life of purity. Then 2 also in terms of extendance, non-extendant, dependent and dependent. All right. So it go one by one. Then 4. What is 4? And then what is 5? Right? So it's really seems to get all the information from Tipitaka, arrange it according to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Right? I think it will take time to read all. Okay. So since we have time, maybe we open up this session for questions on, I think we still have some time. All right. So anything you want to ask beside this chapter on Sīla, or you want to ask on about meditation? Because I think some of you are not attending the Friday class, right? Or you want to ask about your assignment? Okay. All right. So I will try. I think I think we cannot finish in 3 months. I don't think so. It's a big topic here. So maybe we'll break into now June, July, September, October. Maybe 4 months, then we break, then we continue next year. So maybe for this section, June to October, we can have maybe 2 or 3 assignment. So like now, based on what you learn about the path of purification, maybe there's a short assignment you can do a research yourself, or based on Sīla, you can do another research on the Tipitaka, like just now, what kind of Sīla, what types of Sīla, what kind of morality or whatever. Just write something. Because the moment you write something, you start to digest the information in your own way. Okay? Because if not, now we call it passive learning. Passive learning means you listen and listen and listen. So how much can you listen? How much can you process in your mind? It may be 50 in, it may be 50 out. Okay. So it's better you write something. Because the moment you write something, you have to be actively engaged with all the information. Best don't use Noble yet. Because the moment you use Noble, I noticed that if I use Noble also, of course, we get lots of variable information for Noble, but we are not actively searching for information. So we miss the process of digesting it in our own way. Okay? Anything want to ask? We continue some more. Okay. Now, the question is how to study this book, right? Yeah. It's actually a lot of information. Huge. That's why during the last about 2023, you can see the previous note, we write the date 2023. So I really skip all this category. Okay. Then there are 4. Then there are 5. All right. So there are 4 and 5. Then 3 tetrad, 4 tetrad, extendance, and so on. Okay. Then this discourse, it continued the Visuddhimagga talking about the monk's behavior, right? Okay. All right. Okay, now, so based on the book, if I continue, will be more on Sīla, right? Or do you want me to continue the Sīla? Because I missed all the topic this Sīla. Today I cover quite enough. You want me to continue more on Sīla, or you want me to go to meditation? Because last time we do Sīla for one day, and because I see in the Sīla there's various types of category, which is actually quite a lot. If I cover, it take longer time. Right, there's one action. Okay, somebody say you continue, or somebody prefer me to start with concentration. Okay, maybe we have a show of hand. All right. So here, Sumita, it didn't give much information. It just say that given in a way beginning with one who bears the cold and heat. All right. So means be patient with the difficulties or problems. So this one of the restraint. Restraint means restraint either by body or by the mind. So when you feel hot and cold, you can restrain by your body, so you don't, like when you are in meditation, so when you feel cold, maybe you don't feel that, oh, I need to switch off the aircon, whatever, so you bear for some time. All right, but of course if it eventually too cold, you have to turn off the aircon. When it's too hot, bear for some time before you go and turn on the fan. So you need to have some restraint. So that's the idea. Okay, so we still have time. Let us continue with Sīla. Now, from this point on, I think is a lot of category. Now, we already finished the benefits already. Now, remember, Visuddhimagga is a book written by one monk to impress other monks, okay, in the Mahavihara, which I mentioned in the first teaching here last week. So he write down all the categories. So this is very common when you see in Visuddhimagga. Here is actually, it follow the style of Abhidhamma. In Abhidhamma also have like 1 is what, 2 is what, 3 is what, 4 is what. So the first one, Sīla, is one kind, by the characteristic of composing. That's all, right? Composing, I think, coming from the word samadhana. Now, sometimes when we look at the Pali not clear, the alternative is look at the other translation. Okay. Okay, you can see the same sentence being virtuous. So this is number 1. Okay. Then what is 2 kind? Positive and negative. Then abstinence and non-abstinence. Then interested or disinterested. Limit for life until life or time. Vulnerable and invulnerable. Worldly and transcendental. So anyway, that's how the book is arranged. First, there's 1. Then 2 is keeping, avoiding. Then good behavior and beginning of the life purity. Then abstinence, non-abstinence. Then dependent and independent. Temporarily. Now, this is actually easy to explain here. Now, Sīla you can maintain temporarily. Some of the Sīla, right? And or lifelong. Now, what is temporarily? For example, 8 precept. When you go for meditation center, you can observe 8 precept temporarily. But when you go back home, 5 precept. Or as a fisherman. Sometimes they say, oh, fishermen, they are killing the fish. They cannot observe morality. But actually, no. When the fishermen, when they go to Buddhist center, at that time, they listen to Dhamma, they can observe 5 precepts. Okay. Now, limitless, unlimited. So which explain later, right? Mundane. So Sīla to do with mundane and supramundane. Supramundane means at the moment of enlightenment. Then 3 kinds: inferior, medium, and superior. Now Sīla, preceding to self, giving precedence to world, giving precedence to the Dhamma, and so on. All right, all these are different category. Okay. Then this one. Okay, from 26 onwards, it start to give more explanation already about the category above. So, okay, I think this is interesting here. Okay, I invite one student to read on 26 too. Thomas, you can read, yeah. 26.
In the section dealing with that of 2 kinds, fulfilling a training precept announced by the Blessed One thus: this should be done, is keeping. Not doing what is prohibited by him, thus this should not be done, is avoiding. Herein, the word meaning is this: they keep, charanti, within that they proceed as people who fulfill the virtues. Thus it is keeping, charita. They preserve, they protect, they avoid. Thus it is avoiding. Herein, keeping is accomplished by faith and energy, avoiding by faith and mindfulness. This is how it is of 2 kinds, as keeping and avoiding.
Okay, thank you. So Sīla, the first one is keeping. Keeping, this should be done. This is similar to what we learned before. Remember what I mentioned just now? One is like a duty, okay? Something that you should do, like duty when you go for meditation center, you need to help sweeping the floor, clean the ground. Even you go for garden, like help to clean the garden is also something you should be done. So this is called keeping. And avoiding, this means they observe the 5 precepts: do not kill, do not steal. So this avoiding. So which is actually same like the notes I mentioned earlier on. So it's actually same with Laja, okay? The one on the point number paragraph number 17. So the first one is avoiding as tenant. The second one is keeping. Keeping means fulfilling the practice of duties. So Sīla actually we can divide the two. First is don't do something, another one you do something. So this is considered as keeping, another one is avoiding. So it's same like this point number 17. All right. And then the rest is actually the preserve. All these are sometimes it depends on Pali. They will explain a lot of things. Preserve, protect, avoid, All these are Pali terms. Okay. Now. Now this is very long. Okay, anybody want to read this one? Veera, you want to read? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Saiji. Which one? Number 27.
Yeah, right.
In the second diet, good behavior is the best kind of behavior. Good behavior itself is that of a good behavior, or what is announced for the sake of good behavior is that of good behavior. This is a term for virtue other than that which has livelihood, as if it is the initial stage of the life of purity consisting in the path. Thus, it is that of the beginning of the life of purity. This is term for the virtue that has livelihood as if. It is the initial stage of the path because it has actually to be purified in the prior stage too. Hence, it is said, but his bodily action, his verbal action, and his livelihood have already been purified earlier. Or the training precepts called lesser and minor are that of good behavior. The rest are that of the beginning of the life of purity. Or what is included in the double quote, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis patimokkha, is that of the beginning of the life of purity, and that included in the duties set out in the kandakas of Vinaya is that of good behavior. Through its protection, that of the beginning of the life of purity comes to be perfected. Hence, it is said also that these bhikkhus shall fulfill the state of consisting in the beginning of the life of purity without having fulfilled the state consisting in good behavior. That is not possible. So it is of two kinds, as that of good behavior and that of the beginning of the life of purity.
It's a long text. So anyway, in the diet means of two. The first one is good behavior. Because we already know when somebody has Sīla, virtue, then he will have a good bodily and verbal behavior. So the second one is more on for the monk. So this is called beginning of the life of purity. Okay? So it's set out in the Vinaya rules and so on. I think this one is not so important. There's a lot of things here. I think we go for this 29, all right? Right. Okay, somebody read this one. Doreen Ong. You can read 29, yeah. Yes.
In the fourth day, there are two kinds of dependence. Dependence through craving and dependence through false views. Herein that produced by one who wishes for a fortunate kind of becoming thus. Through this virtuous conduct, right, I shall become a great deity or some minor deities. What MI102 is dependent through craving that produced through such false view about purification as purification is through virtuous conduct is dependent through false view. But the supramundane and the mundane that is prerequisite for the aforesaid supramundane are independent. So it is of two kinds of dependent and independent. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Not good.
Okay. Okay, now. So this is just some terms on dependent. Okay. Now, sometimes people they practice morality, Sīla, virtue, but with the kind of like wrong view. So they thought of when they do good deeds, they have morality, they become a deity, they want to reborn in the heavenly world. So this is called dependent because it has craving. So dependent through craving. But if somebody just practice because they aspire for super mundane, then whatever they do before the supramundane means it's a mundane state, right? Mundane state means in the Abhidhamma, only at the enlightenment time is considered supramundane. So before enlightenment time, when you practice meditation, it will be kusala chitta, mundane. So the mundane that is prerequisite for the aforesaid supramundane. So this kind of thing is called independent because they are not dependent on craving. Okay, so it just trying to tell us that sometimes even though we have Sīla, we have morality, our morality might not so pure because it can depend on craving. So that's a trying to say in terms of dependent and independent, right? Okay. So the number 30 is, yeah, sometimes you can practice temporarily, means deciding a time limit, right? So this one is actually, I see in, sometimes I see a lot in Myanmar, also very strange, because here, the ladies, when they come for Dhamma talk, or they come for, normally in the Myanmar custom, when they have when they do donation, then they got sharing marriage. So the ladies will come dressing beautifully. If you see the Burmese lady, they dress up beautifully with all the gold and silver wearing. Then the teacher asked them to take 8 precepts. So I also surprised to see they take 8 precepts wearing the gold and jewelry. But it seems that they can just decide at that time to have purity of mind, keeping the precepts, even though they are wearing the jewelries. It's just a short time only during the Dhamma talk. After the Dhamma talk, they go back to 5 precepts. Okay, this is a custom day because when the donation time, all the ladies, they wear all the gold and silver. Yeah. In Myanmar, there's a lot of gold and silver. It's very common. So another one, lifelong virtue, means take it for the whole lifetime. Okay, I think that's enough. So thank you for joining. So before we finish, we will do the sharing of merits. Don't go first. Wait, I call Sajia Gawade to
Hmm?
yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay. Share merit. Okay. Okay, let's recite share merit. Sharing merit with the all beings. Imano punya bagan sabha sadana dima. Imano punya bagan sabha sadana dima. Imano punya bagan sabha sadana dima. Sharing of merit to the departed gods. Idano nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyateyo. Idano nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyateyo. Idano nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyateyo. Anumodana, sharing the merits, Deva, Akasata Chabumata, Devanaga Mahedika, Onyante Anumode Dewa, Jiran Rakandu Sasanam. Akasata Chabumata, Devanaga Mahedika,
Punyanta anumoditawa Jiran rakantu desanam Akasata chabumata Devanaga mahedika Punyanta anumoditawa Jiran rakantu manpranti. Okay, blessing. Ayurarogya sampati saka sampati mevacha atonibana sampati iminate samejatu. A blessing to the wall. Deva vasantu kalin sa sampati hotu cha. Ito bhagavatu lokoja. Raja bhagavatu demiko. Okay, Patana expression. Ada imaya patipadaya jara maranama parimuche sami. Idame punya asawakya wahang hotu. Idame punya nibbana pacayo hotu. Idame sīla mega phalanyanasa pacayo hotu. Imina punya kamina Mami bala samagamo sada samagamo hotu yawan nibana patiya Buddha sasana jiran datatu Buddha sasana jiran datatu Buddha sasana jiran datatu sadhu
Sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu. Thank you for your everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this class. So we will continue with Sīla. So based on the notes in the Visuddhimagga, now I don't give you any more notes because it's actually a lot of category. So we just read as much as we can, and I will give some explanation if I understand because sometimes it look quite complicated to me also. Okay. Anyway, thanks very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Saiji.
Saiji. Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Sayaji.